He didn't want war. That's the part that makes this story so devastating. In 1218, Genghis Khan, the man who had already conquered more of the earth than anyone alive, sent a peace offering. A caravan of 450 merchants carrying gold, silver, silk, and furs. Alongside them, a formal letter addressed to the ruler of the Khwarezmian Empire, the most powerful kingdom in the Islamic world at the time. The letter read, "I am master of the lands of the rising sun. You rule the lands of the setting sun. Let us have a firm treaty of friendship." He wasn't threatening. He was offering trade, partnership, peace. The governor of the border city of Otrar looked at that caravan, at all that wealth, all that silk and silver, and made a decision that would become one of the most catastrophic mistakes any human being has ever made in the history of civilization. He accused the merchants of being spies, and then he had every single one of them executed and kept the goods for himself. When word reached Genghis Khan, he did not immediately reach for his sword. He sent 3 ambassadors to the Khwarezmian Shah, the empire's ruler, demanding justice, an explanation, the return of the goods, the punishment of the governor who ordered the killings. The Shah killed one of the ambassadors and shaved the heads of the other 2, sending them back to Genghis Khan humiliated. There is a moment in history, rare, unmistakable, and almost always catastrophic, when a great power runs out of patience entirely. This was that moment. Genghis Khan rode to the top of a mountain. He removed his hat, bowed his head to the sky, and he prayed for 3 days. What he said in those 3 days, alone on that mountain, history does not record. But what he did next, the whole world felt. He came down from the mountain and he declared war. Not a raid, not a border skirmish. Total, absolute, civilizational war. He gathered an army of between 100 and 200,000 of the most experienced cavalry fighters who had ever lived, and he moved on the Khwarezmian Empire from multiple directions simultaneously. A tactic so advanced that many military historians still study it today. The Khwarezmian Empire was massive. It stretched from what is now Iran to Afghanistan. At its height, it commanded over 400,000 soldiers. On paper, it should have been able to stop him. It could not stop him. City by city, the empire was dismantled. Samarkand, one of the great cultural capitals of the ancient world, a city of 500,000 people, a center of science and architecture and trade, fell within days. The population was sorted. Craftsmen and skilled workers were spared and sent east. Everyone else was killed. Urgench, the empire's capital, resisted. Khan's forces diverted a river to flood the city. Then they destroyed it so completely that archaeologists are still excavating it today, searching for what was lost. The Shah fled. He ran from city to city across his own crumbling empire, chased by a Mongol detachment sent specifically and exclusively to hunt him down. He died alone on a small island in the Caspian Sea, a man who had ruled millions, dying in rags, with no kingdom left to return to. His son fought on. He was eventually cornered and killed years later. By the time it was over, historians estimate that between 10 and 15 million people had died. Some regions of Central Asia lost 60 to 75% of their entire population. Cities that had existed for 1,000 years were gone, not defeated, not occupied, gone. Erased from the earth so thoroughly that many of them were never rebuilt. All of it, every death, every destroyed city, every extinguished civilization, every family that simply ceased to exist. Because one governor looked at a trade caravan and made the wrong decision. Genghis Khan had offered peace. He had asked only for justice when that peace was violated. And when justice was denied, when his ambassador was killed and his other men sent back humiliated, he made the Khwarezmian Empire pay a price so total, so absolute, so final, that historians still struggle to find the right words for what happened. There is no right word. There is only the silence of the cities that used to be there. And the single lesson that every empire, every ruler, every person who has ever held power and abused it should have learned by now, but somehow never does. Do not start something you cannot finish. And whatever you do, do not disrespect the man who came to you in peace.